Dattilo. I am a graduate assistant at the Kinney Center for Autism Education and Support. Today I'm going to bring you a new sports and recreation video, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite games to play with my family, red light, green light. So a little overview of what's going to be covered in this presentation. We're going to talk about what red light, green light is, the rules of the game, how to set up the game, different variations on how to play, and how to play the game indoors. What is red light, green light? It is a game that can be played outside or inside, and all you need is some open space and about 3 or more people to play. It is a great way to practice your listening skills and get your body up and moving. It also helps teach sportsmanship and how to respect others. So let's start off with the rules of the game. So everyone that's playing will start along the starting line, and the leader will either be at the finish line or somewhere else where they're not in the way. And when the leader says green light, everyone will immediately move towards the finish line. But if the leader says red light, then everyone must stop right where they are. And if players are still moving when the leader calls out red light, they must go back to the starting line. Start a new round when everyone gets back across the finish line, or if most of the players have already crossed the finish line. And the first person to finish in round 1 can be the leader for round 2. So what do the different colored lights mean? Well, red could equal stop, yellow could mean slow motion, and green could mean running or walking. Now this can depend, and I'll talk about the different variations that can be done, but these are the general basic color and movement combinations. So before you start, you want to make sure that everyone knows the rules, and you want someone to be the leader. So the leader is going to be the person that calls out red light and green light, or if you have other colored lights in there as well, they'll be the ones to say those. And you want to make sure that everyone knows how to play the game safely. And lastly, you want to ensure that the area you're playing in is clear of any objects that might cause someone to trip. We don't want anyone falling. So this could include toys that are on the ground, or possibly large branches, stuff like that, that could cause someone to fall during the game. As for setup, you want to clearly define the playing area with a designated start and finish line. To mark these 2 things, you could use cones, a chair, whatever you have to show exactly where the start and finish lines are at. And you want to make sure everyone has shoes appropriate for the setting. So if you're outside, you would probably want to wear sneakers or some sort of closed-toed shoes, as you might be running or walking at a fast pace. But if you're inside and playing this game, you could be in your bare feet or wearing socks. So you want to clear out any tripping hazards or objects in the playing field, and you want to line up your players on the starting line and make sure the leader is out of their way. Again, we don't want anyone running into each other. We want everyone to have a safe and fun time. So what's really great about this game is that there's so many different variations. So that's going to be the next thing we talk about. The first variation that you can do is introduce new colored lights. So this gives variation to how the players will move towards the finish line, and it gives more colors for the leader to call out at a given time. So some examples include green light, which could mean run, yellow light, where the players will walk heel to toe, and purple light, which is a new one that we didn't talk about yet, but that's a color you could throw in there, and that would be hopping, for example. There's so many different actions you can choose to customize the game. It's really up to you and how you want to play. Some other options include skipping, galloping, tiptoeing, and that's about it. Some more variations include the leader can designate his or herself as the finish line. So this enables the game to move around. That way, when players get closer to the leader can move themselves back, thus extending the game a little bit longer. And the finish line kind of moves around, which can be fun and interesting way to play. And lastly, if you have someone in your family that's hearing impaired, or you want a clearer indication other than a verbal prompt of whether it's a red light or green light, the leader can turn their back towards the group for red light and then turn around to face the group for green light. So since it is the springtime and it's not always that sunny out, and it can be cold, rainy, or maybe you just don't have the space to play outdoors, it is possible to play this game indoors. To play the game indoors, make sure you have enough space to play safely. I'd say a good rule of thumb is about 10 to 15 feet worth of space. Remind players that there's no running allowed because we don't want anyone falling. And the different light indicators would be green light being walk, yellow light, slow motion, and red lights being stop. If there are too many people to play safely in your given space, you can divide everyone up into groups and play multiple rounds. The first person to finish round 1 can be the leader for round 2, like we mentioned before. So I actually ended up playing this game with my little sister and brother, and I played it. I kind of did my own little variation of it. So we used yellow light in addition to red and green light, and I was the leader, so I stood a few feet away from them and I called out the different light colors as they moved towards me. I didn't move back any further like the one variation I talked about, but as you can see in this clip, we did not play by the rule of if someone moves during a red light that they have to go back to the starting line. That was just our choice to do. But here's a little clip of how to play the game.
All right, guys, we're gonna play red light, green light. To play, when I say green light, you're gonna go, go, go. So you're gonna walk towards me. If I say red light, you need to stop exactly where you're at, okay? And if I say yellow light, you go in slow motion, okay? Are you ready? Yeah. Set. Green light. Red light. Green light. Yellow light. Red light. Red light. Red light. And green light. Lane Florida!
So that's about all I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to play red light, green light, and I hope you and your family can enjoy the game just like I did with mine. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. See you next time.